What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today, we've got a lot to talk about, especially given that we have potentially two here we goes in the coming days. Don't worry, we'll cover each and every aspect of it as soon as it happens. But there's other pieces that are going to need to be filled from spots that will be vacated from the Bianconeri in the summer mercado. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today it's Friday, May 20th, 2022, and of course I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus. Real quick before I ask you, actually I'm going to ask you all right now, can you please hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, hit that bell icon? All that good stuff really helps our channel to grow. Also, we lost a video last night from the, there's some nonsense, a YouTube glitch that happened, and basically we lost a 2.5 hour live that myself and member Davide did. So hitting that like button will really help make up for what we lost in a really big show we did yesterday. And I think also because of the show we did yesterday, my voice is gone. I'm sure you can hear it. I barely have a voice. I'm going to try to get through this show, let you all know what's going on with the news, but I apologize. Please bear with me. Hopefully it'll be healed and back by the time Pogba, Di Maria, by the time they make their announcements or make their, Juventus say that here we go and all that stuff. So let's get into it. What are the news that we have for you today? The very first one is involving Paul Pogba and his situation. Di Maria is reporting saying that Paul Pogba is strongly tempted to return to Juventus. After the weekend, there could be the green light to try to close the deal. PSG, who had presented a higher bid in recent days, are on standby and in a standby phase. Juventus hope to take advantage of it. Going off of that, we also have reports coming from Sky Italia, who basically come in and kind of confirm the same bit of information, saying Pogba has reportedly rejected the renewal of Manchester United and PSG's advances. Closures of the deal with Juventus possible as early as this weekend. So here we go. Could be happening. I was thinking maybe Monday, Tuesday is probably what we might be looking at, but stay on alert. For all we know, Paul Pogba, the deal could get done by this weekend. I'm hoping Sunday seems like a good day, right? It makes sense, doesn't it? If you're a Juventus fan, you would have to imagine, and I think Juve have kind of like hinted toward the potential of return of Paul Pogba, and then Di Maria, of course, be given an old flashback photo that include both the players in a game Juve versus Real Madrid. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how long it takes, how long we have to wait for this. But I would put my money on somewhere between the Sunday and Tuesday time frame. I'm hoping Sunday, Monday would be good. Tuesday's a little bit difficult for me personally, but we'll have coverage regardless because we have Julian, Alejandro, myself, and then of course our members who I'm sure will be happy to hop on and discuss the newest signing for Juventus. Re-signing, I guess you'd say. Anyway, Paul Pogba seems all but done. Let's continue on, though, to another player that I feel like is a very good chance to end up landing in the Bianconeri colors, and that is, of course, Angel Di Maria. Gazzetta dello Sport out here reporting saying that Angel Di Maria has given his approval for a transfer to Juventus. The Bianconeri are now waiting for a small discount of the salary, and the white smoke could only be a matter of days. So really, I mean, not a lot to really comment on. We've known this. We're just waiting. In anticipation, as Juve fans, we're ready to go. Paul Pogba, Di Maria, let's get it done. Let's get it moving. Bring these two players in. And then we can really focus on the other aspects of the Mercado because this is going to be a massive Mercado. There's a lot of moves that need to be made. We know a lot of players and their situations of who's going to stay, who's not going to stay. Bernardeschi, Dybala, Morata now, players like that. We need to find replacements for them. And you got to make moves. And we cannot afford for Juventus to do... Well, maybe we can afford for certain players to put them off. But I don't know if we can do a full Mercado of the Locatelli deal, the Locatelli saga, where we just keep waiting till the end of the Mercado. Also, I think a lot of fans won't be patient. A lot of fans are ready, or they're ready for the team to get together and start working. If we get to the end of the Mercado and we have like a week to go before the next season starts, I think a lot of fans are going to be a little peed off. Because the one thing you're going to say is, what's going on? They don't get any time to work together. And then you're going to have this excuse for having a messy start. And right now, I don't think any fans or anybody's ready or willing to give Max Allegri in this squad any excuses going into next season. Let's continue on, see if my voice will hold out through this whole video. All right, the next news update we have today, we have is from Di Maria talking about the Ligt situation, saying that Juventus and the Ligt's entourage are working on a new deal until 2025-2026. The deal would include lowering the release clause to about 100 or below 100 million euros. There is a willingness from both sides to find an agreement. So great news to hear. Obviously, he's our man in the defense. Can't afford to lose De Ligt after Chiellini stepping down. Bonucci eventually will, regardless of what you feel about Bonucci. He's still a solid defensive player, though obviously much better when he's paired up with Chiellini. But still, we're going to need other players, other options. We talk about Bremer. We talk about some of the different options Juve could go after, Gabriel, whoever. We need to keep De Ligt in that side next to him and then see who we can pair up with him to hopefully reinforce this defensive line. Next up, let's move it on to a player that you know that I'm not super hype on. I'm blatantly honest and I'm open about it. But at the same time, one of the things that I will say is that I'm not going to tell you how to feel. So you can feel differently. That's it. Okay, here we go. Gazzetta dello Sport are out reporting saying that Perisic's situation, he will receive a proposal of 4.5 million euros net per season from Inter. While Juve is ready to offer him a 2-year, 6 million euro per season deal, it is true that in the past week, the player has mandated an international intermediary to look for a side in the Premier League. But the links with Juve appear to be the strongest at the moment. So that's kind of an interesting, funny little bit right there, is that he actually, maybe Perisic is going to be a little bit more on what you were hoping from the Dybala side, as in he's a little bit going to be like, I'm not going to go from Inter and play for the rival, as in Juventus. While Dybala's like, send me to Inter. Come on, arms wide open. That's a Creed reference. I don't know why. It's really outdated. Anyway, so we'll see what happens there. There's a second part to this. Let's continue it. Perisic, also news from him, from Fabrizio Romano, the Inter man himself. He says, I am not aware that Perisic has an agreement with any of the mentioned clubs. Inter's offer is still on the table, but the current one is still not enough for Perisic to go ahead. Juve has inquired, but does not have an agreement. We'll see what happens with Perisic. It's a thing to monitor, and definitely you want to keep an eye out in case any of those Premier League teams go after him. Continuing on, though, Gazzetta dello Sport has more reports saying that Juventus need to make room in the squad for the new signings, which, not saying I disagree or that it surprises me, but, I mean, Morata's leaving, Dybala's leaving, plenty of players are leaving, Bernardeschi's leaving. Do we really need to make that much room? Whatever. Players like Archer, Rabiot, and McKinney could leave. All three have offers from the Premier League, especially Weston, and could guarantee a good amount of cash to reinvest. So obviously, Weston McKinney is one that we probably would rather not sell if we don't have to. You'd like to sell Archer, and you'd like to sell Rabiot first before Weston McKinney, just because what he brings to the table is something so much different and so much better, I think. But again, I'm willing to sacrifice Weston McKinney if it means getting a better player that can really bring something different to the club, like a Paul Pogba. But I feel like, given that you're not buying him, you're just offering him a deal since he's coming on a free, that you shouldn't have to, sacrifice one of those guys. Archer seems the most likely one to leave because definitely he and his agent are in agreement with Juventus that he doesn't have a place really in Allegri's system, and he wants to play something where that's better for him potentially. More likely, Arsenal, and then Rabiot. I'll believe it when I see it. That's what I'll say. Talking about other players and clubs that are in London as well, or not, or overall in the Premier League too, Giovanni Albanese was saying Chelsea's mercado is still frozen. Juve want to play it safe and take no risks. The Jorginho track is to be considered complex. Not very functional to the club's current needs. He is now thinking more about a renewal, and Juve is already working on something else. So we'll see. This is one of those situations. Giovanni Albanese is usually pretty reliable, but he's also not the most in the know, I guess I would say. Like, he's solid, but I still don't know what to take from this. Like, maybe there's a potential, but I mean, the thing is, the mercado could unfreeze for Chelsea, especially given that they're making the move and they're making the deal to sell the club and all that's going along with that I'm less worried that this could be an issue. Also, what does that open up the mercado for? Okay, say we take Jorginho off the books, right? We take him off the opportunity to bring in Jorginho. We look at the other midfield options that Juve are going. I'm fairly certain, and I feel pretty strongly in saying that Milinkovic-Savic will not be coming to Juventus. I think it's either or between him and Pogba, and then Lotito and all that nonsense. I would love to be proven wrong. Don't get me wrong. I would love to be wrong in that situation, but I don't think I am. When it comes to the other players, Frankie de Jong, I doubt it. Would this open it up for Zaniolo? I know you guys are going to hate on it, would this open it up for Big Z that they have to go back to the well and go after Big Z? I'm sorry, Paredes, players like that do not interest me. They do not excite me. I'm happy to get Paul Pogba, but if we want to improve our midfield, I think you're a different option. It's not Paredes. All right, moving on. Talking about Morata and his situation, he's leaving Juventus, but it's not as clear. Di Martio's commenting on it, saying Juventus decided to not use their option to buy Morata. He'll return to Atletico. And then saying Juventus know that Morata does not fit into Cholo Simeone's plans, and for this reason, they are waiting for Atletico Madrid to set a new price before making a move and perhaps setting up a negotiation at a lower figure than the one agreed 2 years ago. So there's still a little hope. If you're holding out hope that Alvaro Morata will stay with the club and can still be a Juventus player, it's still out there. Not super likely, because for all intents and purposes, we've seen from Atletico Madrid, they think they can get more from him. They think they can get around the 35 million euro range. If I'm Juventus, I'm not going a dollar, a penny, a cent over 20 million euros. I think that's where I'm meeting at. That's as far as I'm willing to go. That's it. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see if Juventus change their minds, but definitely right now, it seems that Alvaro Morata is more than likely on the outs when it comes to Juve. A player that could be replacing him, well, Tutto Sports got a report on that, saying that Juventus have taken steps to bring Morata's replacement to Turin. Only one name is in mind, and that's Giacomo Raspadori. And I'm all aboard the Raspadori train. Trust me. That's one that worries me a little bit with some of the comments given by Carnevale in recent days, almost trying to like hush it up, saying that he needs more experience, he needs more whatever. I think when it comes to him, obviously Carnevale may be angling just to try to, money, try to get a deal because he knows he doesn't have a lot of leverage with Juventus this year. But then there is the other aspect of me that wonders if maybe he's trying to keep him for another season because they have so many players in this mercado, and they have so many guys that could be moving. Scamacca, Fratesi, Traore even, and as well as other players that you have to keep an eye on and be like, are they willing to sell their entire squad? And, we'll see. We'll see what happens because, otherwise, if you lose all those guys, you're worried about relegation at that point. So if Juventus are also interested in Raspadori, maybe you need to get it up and ahead in front of it before these other teams can come in and get these other guys so you don't get stuck without, Raspadori. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts when it comes to that. Continuing on, we got some more news talking about Di Marzio reports about the players that could be leaving the club. Says during last Monday's meeting, the future of Moise Kean and Luca Pellegrini was also discussed. For the two, if possible, the club will work on a transfer. Nothing really groundbreaking, nothing earth-shattering. We know Moise Kean, if they can get an option, PSG, West Ham, we'll see what happens. And then when it comes to Luca Pellegrini, it's an unfortunate one. As a fan, I know like Alejandro and other guys on our channel don't rate him super high. Me personally, I liked what I saw from Luca Pellegrini. I saw some hustle or whatever there. But the problem is, Alexandro's probably not going to be moved because you have so many other moves to make that he's probably not moving this summer because of his wage, because of all that goes along with that, with the player. And they're still going to try to bring in a guy to supplant him, but you have to move another guy. That means Luca Pellegrini ends up being sacrificed in this moment. The same way we talk about, Weston McKennie or guys like that could be sacrificed. That's where Luca Pellegrini is in this situation. All right, next one up is we're talking about my guy again. It's Corriere dello Sport saying that after Bernardeschi, Chiesa, and Vlahovic, Juve could set up another market negotiation with Fiorentina. The Bianconeri, in fact, are following that of Milinkovic. And this is a player that, again, I like. I'm not saying he's a world change. He's not going to be an earth-shattering signing for Juventus. When we talked about him last summer, I like the player. I think he would have done a really good job in reinforcing our defense, especially given all the injuries that Juve have suffered through the last season or so. With Chiellini being injured, Bonucci was out for a while, even De Ligt for portions of that, and you're stuck playing with Rugani. Danilo's playing there, or Danilo's being moved up to the midfield. A lot of different rough situations because of all the injuries in the defense and in the midfield. I think Milinkovic would be a great addition. You can get him for pretty cheap, and I think Fiorentina would be malleable to end up coming to a deal for Juventus. So we'll see. That'll be one to keep an eye on. We talk about Badiashile. I always mess that up. Badiashile, that's one reason why I love the player, but I'm nervous because if we bring him in, I'm not going to be able to ever say it correctly on the channel. But I like Milinkovic. We'll see what happens there. Keep an eye on it. Next up, let's talk about the left back solution that could be coming um, for Luca Pellegrini, I guess, not Alexandro, but the left back that we could deal with, and the only way I can really, I guess, to describe the situation when I'm talking about who could be coming in for Juventus, it is.
From there on out, things just got worse.
And that's what I believe that Alejandro would say right now, because the report is Tuttosport are saying that Juve are looking for a left back, among other things, as Pellegrini and Alexandro are not certain to stay. Juve's choice is Emerson Palmieri. He only has a 1-year contract and could be a low-cost signing. There you go. There you go, Alejandro. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I guess the only thing you may be feeling right now is
I immediately regret this decision.
Yeah, that's the way we feel right now. I'm regretting this. Emerson Palmieri would not be my top option. Obviously, the options I liked. We had a guy tune in yesterday to the live that unfortunately we had issues with, whatever. Talking about Renan Lodi. Lodi's not even on the table anymore. I think Paulo Ndomolo kind of shut that down. Unfortunately, Juve will not be going for him. So for me, the option would be Udogi. And hopefully Udogi is the option they go after, not that of Emerson Palmieri. We'll see. And then the final news story of the day is talking about the youngsters and the young players that could be continue playing at Juventus. Corriere dello Sports think that they have some insight when it comes to that. And they're saying they actually believe, and to me I almost felt like this was the opposite situation, that Rovella would be the one with the best chance of staying at Juventus next season. For Fagioli, instead, the meeting with his entourage is awaited to understand the renewal margins. Moretti is at a crossroads. Possible permanence in the Bianconeri to grow in the shadow of a big player, but also a year on loan to play with continuity. This is where I'm torn, because my option, I've been very blunt about it on the channel. My personal belief, and I'm squinting a lot for some reason. My contacts are bothering me. But anyway, overall, my option would be that of Moretti. He'd be the player that I would keep of the three, just because I think he has a higher ceiling than any of them. And I think he can develop into a great player. I also worry that if you send him off to another club, that you're going to end up being stuck with the situations you get from the other guys. They're constantly on loan. They're being underutilized or whatever. And I also, I do think he has a way higher ceiling and is a better player overall than Fagioli. I know a lot of guys like Fagioli, but I think his time is probably come and gone to really be a solid part of Juventus' plan. Otherwise, what you're looking at, Rovella, I liked him. I wanted to bring him in January. Then maybe I would have been more open to it. But I feel like right now, Rovella actually, to me, I feel like has the best option to end up being utilized in a sale or in some kind of negotiation. We talk about, the situation with Jorginho. If Jorginho's off the table, we're losing those midfield, whatever options, targets, whatever you want to call them. And obviously, and again, this isn't me pushing my propaganda, but obviously, given the situation with Zaniolo, I wonder if, a player like that would end up being utilized to lower that price and bring him into Juventus. Otherwise, again, if we can dream about Milinkovic Savic coming back to the table, I'd be there first for that one. So anyway, just something to keep an eye on. Let me know which one you would pick between the three. Again, I'm still firmly in the corner that Moretti does good things. I think you can use him. Maybe he won't be starting, but he can at least be a good option there and get solid minutes. Because one thing with our midfield, you're bringing in Paul Pogba, but still, we suffer from injuries. There's a lot of injuries that are going to impact the squad. So he still gets some play. He may not be starting, but Moretti's still going to get some run, and we're going to need him and other players to step up in those moments when the injuries do happen. You guys let me know your thoughts on all the topics we covered today. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in as always and for bearing with me while my voice sounds like this. Hopefully it'll be back again tomorrow or the next day, whatever, and hopefully we'll be good to go. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, smash the like button. Don't just hit it, smash the subscribe button, or smash the like button, my bad. And also hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Make sure you follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And make sure you follow me at Justin Sofro as well. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.